Hi, my name is Laura Fiorillo. Welcome to Read Strong. So recently we've been talking about engagement and how to keep our children engaged while they're reading for extended periods of time. So today I wanted to talk about our youngest ones and how we can develop reading habits at a young age so that way when our children start to read on their own, they already have these habits in place. So in our home, we start reading at a very young age. From when our children are first born, we try to develop a love of reading in them. So we're always reading at bedtime, before nap time, when it seems like the kids kind of just need a little downtime. I remember even my children being extra super little tiny babies, and my husband reading them books in the bath because he could kind of get them to look over at the books and see the pictures and kind of see their smiles on their faces. So anytime is a great time to start reading, even from super young. So what you always want to do is make sure that you have lots of books around for your kids to choose from. So around one or two, your children are probably going to want to start picking their own books. So that's great. Have them develop a love of reading where they get to choose from their books, have bookshelves in their room, we have in our family room. And it's very common at a young age for the children to want to read the same books over and over again. My son, when he was about 2 years old, wanted to read at bedtime and nap time the same 3 or 4 books every single time. So I would try to work in, maybe one new book, and then we could read our books that we've been reading. But it's very normal because at that age, they're looking for the predictability. They want to know what's going to happen. He knew how those books were going to end, what was going to happen, the different characters that were in the books, and that's what he wanted. My daughter was a little different. She, could pick from a different book every night, but some kids, they just like that predictability about what's going to happen. So that's perfectly normal. You might try to get them, to squeeze in one new book a night that they haven't read in a while, but still giving them those same books that they're very familiar with. So it's okay also while you're reading a story to stop and, let your children look at the pictures and tell you about what's going on. You want them to feel comfortable talking about their books, and not just listening to the books. So we also want to just make sure that it doesn't go on for too long because you don't want them to forget what is going on in the story because they're too fixated on the pictures. But it's okay to look and talk about them. You just don't want it to, every single page, they're talking about every little minute detail in the picture. So you just want to kind of keep it moving. But it's great for them to be looking at the pictures because as they develop into readers, they will need to look at those pictures to help them with their reading. So it's also good while they're reading that when they start developing into readers, when they know their letters and their sounds, that to include them in this reading process. So if you see a shorter sentence with words that they might know, let them have a turn while you're reading. So getting them into reading on their own is a great way, or even words that they know, having them help you read the book. So I hope this was helpful for everyone, in how to develop our youngest readers and get them into those habits, because if they're used to being around books and reading books from a very young age, they're already established in this pattern. So when they start to read on their own, it just comes natural for them. So I hope this was helpful. And if you ever need any tips or suggestions or need some help, please feel free to reach out.